everyone. So this has been a rough few days for kissies. More specifically, black kissies. Okay, so I've been gone for quite a while. Life got busy, my work life turned to shit, and I completely turned myself off from all things K-pop for the last few months. Just trying to get my shit together. I did not want this to be my first video back, but I couldn't just ignore it. Even though I did step away from the internet for a few months, I still had my usual comfort music to get me through the day. And lo and behold, when I finally did step back into the world of K-pop for some new music that I might have missed during my hiatus, I was not expecting the dumpster fire that greeted me on nearly every single timeline. Y'all, I saw this whole Kiss Alive drama, and then I saw the mess that it was becoming on Reddit and Twitter and TikTok, and all I could think was, oh my god, who in Kiss of Life's team thought that this was a good idea? Okay, let's take a look at my avatar and get a good look. In case you haven't noticed, I am very black. So for the rest of this video, I will be speaking from the perspective of someone who is obviously black. However, my take on this, believe it or not, isn't coming from someone who is offended, because I personally was not offended, but I won't sit here and act like I wasn't disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong, not being offended does not mean that I'm about to sit here and defend whatever the hell this is. I don't often like discussing super controversial themes like race on my channel because I like to keep things fun and light. However, even when I do decide to discuss controversial topics, I still like to have a little fun with it so that I don't feel like I'm standing on a soapbox yelling into the void things that people already know. This isn't a lecture hall, y'all. It's a channel dedicated to K-pop. However, I was not having fun with this situation and I could not just not talk about it. Because you know what else I am other than a black person? I am a hardcore kissy. Yes, I have been riding hard for these women since day one. I have all of their albums. I have a poster of them on my wall. Hell, I literally just ordered Lose Yourself like a week ago to add to my current collection because I didn't have the money to purchase the album when it initially came out. I wanted them to succeed. And believe it or not, I still don't have any ill wishes for these ladies, even now. But y'all, what is this? When I first heard about this live stream, I admit that I didn't look that deep into it and I initially tried to ignore it because I was already stressed out in other facets of my life and I said to myself that I do not need any more unnecessary stress on my soul. So I decided I'll just keep it moving. But this is honestly one of the worst things that Kiss of Life could have done to themselves and to their fandom. Whenever K-pop news reaches out from beyond the hardcore fandom and into the mainstream media with a scandal, you know that a group has fucked up. Like if you have TMZ telling you that you fucked up, then you definitely fucked up. I have no idea why no one in Kiss of Life's camp didn't look at this situation beforehand and think about all of the ways that it could go horribly wrong. I won't go into the full nitty-gritty about what actually happened in the live stream. I'm sure that there are plenty of other videos out there recapping it. I'm just going to go into this from the perspective and the standpoint of this whole situation not just being dumb, but also a major PR nightmare, especially for a mid-sized group like Kiss of Life that has already had one other scandal that is very similar to this one in the past. Now, I don't know any of these women personally, so I can't say for sure what was really going on in their heads when this theme was decided, or who even decided that they should do this theme to begin with. But I will ask one question, specifically to Julie. Girl, people forgot that you said the N-word a few years ago. Most people didn't even bring it up anymore after you apologized for it and moved on. So why the hell did you think that agreeing to this questionable theme party was smart? Now earlier when I said that I wasn't offended and just disappointed, let me explain what I meant by that. I have personally recommended these ladies to other black people in my actual real life. These were black people who have never listened to K-pop. Some of them have never even heard of it and didn't give a shit about it, but they were still willing to hear me out because I wouldn't stop bugging them about it. Now imagine my great embarrassment and disappointment when they Google Kiss of Life's name and this is the first thing that pops up now. Now on the flip side, I have also heard some people say, well, I don't know why black people are even offended. People are allowed to feel hurt, and I completely understand why they were. I honestly just looked at this live stream and just felt some serious secondhand embarrassment regarding the entire situation. And it wasn't the clothes or the hair or even the hip-hop theme itself that was the actual problem for me. It was the accents.
No, I'm talking about me flirting with my man, and that's not a bestie. I felt my wrist. Hey, what's that?
Little Taco Bell.
Little Taco Bell. Huh?
Why the hell were they talking like this? None of them talk like this normally. Like, you can wear your baggy pants and oversized t shirts and your snapbacks all you want. That's just 90s aesthetics. Clothes, I feel, can be used as a form of expression regardless of who's wearing them. So I can't speak for anyone else on that, but the black sense? The stereotypical mannerisms? My god, this was not it. I honestly don't understand it. K pop idols consistently get dragged for shit like this, and I know that the English speakers in these groups are on TikTok and YouTube and Reddit. I know that they read some of the things that people say about them. If I were an idol, I wouldn't be able to resist going on social media to see what the world was saying about me. Now, I probably wouldn't be reading for very long because some people on the internet are assholes, but I would definitely be out here reading because my curiosity would not be able to let me breathe. So there is no way in the year of 2025 that you aren't already aware of the social climate regarding things like this. I had assumed that companies were debuting groups with a sense of awareness so that scandals like this don't continue to happen. I find it hard to believe that most idols don't know or haven't seen the outcome of shit like this. Honestly, at this point, it's like seeing a building on fire, and instead of running in the opposite direction, you decide to run head on into the flames covered in gasoline. You know damn well that doing things like this is going to force you to have to apologize for it later on, and it's going to be a permanent stain on your name. Every single time that you have a comeback, it's going to be mentioned in the comment sections. From a logic standpoint, none of these idols in the year of 2025 can come out here and say, I wasn't aware of the impact that my actions would have, or oops, my bad, like this is the first time that this has ever happened. This conversation has been had time and time again, and unfortunately, it will likely be had time and time again well into the future until people learn, which apparently still doesn't seem to be happening despite all of the previous disastrous case studies. From a PR standpoint, this entire situation was a mess and not a good look at all. I spent so much of my time cringing while watching this live stream that I didn't even have time to stop to be offended because the whole thing just felt like some weird ass fever dream. I could literally only watch 30 seconds at a time before pausing to process what I was seeing. The whole time I just wondered why. Now, this video wasn't made with the intent to further chastise Kiss of Life, because trust me, they are probably still getting dragged all the way through Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok as we speak. I have openly championed for this group on this very channel, and I still haven't decided to completely close myself off from their music because I do still like their music. But I also have to admit that this incident has definitely made me look at them somewhat differently. Now, maybe the members really did genuinely want to express their appreciation for hip hop and they were just given the absolute wrong advice on how to do that, but it's almost parody at this point, especially when the parody isn't even funny. These K pop companies are either choosing to be willfully ignorant or they're just fucking with us. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot push your group into the international market and not stop to consider all of the potential pitfalls that come from doing that. Why would you want your group to appeal to a certain demographic, but then decide to allow or push them to do the one thing that will likely alienate them from the very demographic that you're trying to benefit from? Where is the logic as to? Did Lee Hae-in pack it up in a suitcase and take it with her when she left the company? I swear, it's like when these groups lose their main creative directors, all hell breaks loose, and then the companies have no plan B for what happens afterwards. As for Kiss of Life, I genuinely do hope the best for them, but I swear someone in that company needs to either learn how to read a room or invest some funds for some cultural sensitivity classes. You would think that a company would want to keep their members away from anything that gets them this type of attention. But I guess it's just too much to ask to expect a little more discretion and common sense here. I don't know what my future with Kiss of Life is going to look like from here on, but it's definitely going to be much harder to talk about them on the channel without thinking about this incident. So time will tell, and we'll see what happens from there. Thank you guys for watching.